What up, leaders? Welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about modern versus ancient and beauty versus ugly. Some people took my last video to mean that I said that the Pegasus Suites and Corporate Center is beautiful. That is not what I'm saying. And some people said the building is ugly. That is a subjective observation. What I'm saying is that it's modern. So I'm going to explain what I mean by modern by comparing what other new construction is going up in Georgetown compared to what has existed for the last 100 years, and then describe what I mean by modern by simply reviewing what's happening in Georgetown currently and maybe what's happening in other places like Dubai and Singapore. I think we can get an understanding for what an old town versus new town means and how buildings in the old town differ from buildings in the new town, and what the future of Georgetown looks like as new modern buildings replace the old ancient type of buildings we have. Stay tuned.
Oh, this is my day. I'm ready to take it on, come what may.
So guys, my definition of a modern building is one that is self-contained, where all of the utilities and all of the essentials of building functions are contained within the building. So for example, in a modern high-rise building, there are these mechanical floors or utility floors, a space between floors where they put all of the plumbing, all of the sewage lines, all of the heating and the cooling ducts, so that you don't have air conditioners hanging on the outside of the building like we see in Guyana. So if you look around Georgetown, the buildings that are still going up, the buildings that are being built, they still have this old design where the building is constructed without any accommodation for utilities. And so after the building is constructed, it's retrofitted with air conditioners, for example, and they would put these on the outside of the building. You would see the sewage lines, so you could tell exactly where the toilets are located. Sometimes even the pipes are located on the outside, on the side of the building. These buildings have a back and a front. So the front is decorated, or the side is exposed to the public or to the road is decorated, has a different facade from the rear, which has no decoration. It is unfinished, it's unrefined, right? So that is the old way of constructing buildings. If you look at the Pegasus Hotel, what I'm talking about as modern, this new Pegasus Suites and Corporate Center, is that if you look on all four sides of the building, it is exactly the same. The finish is the same. There are no air conditioners hanging off the side of the building. There are no utility lines, no sewage lines hanging off the side of the building, and there are no external fixtures retrofitted to accommodate utilities in the building. Right? If you look at some of the old buildings in Guyana, for example, the old town hall, right, Georgetown Town Hall, or you look at the courts, these are ancient or old English buildings. And if you look at the ones that have been constructed in recent years, since then, they might be just as unattractive as some people say the Pegasus Hotel is, but what is worse about them is that they have all of these retrofittings on the outside. There's no self-contained accommodation for cooling or utility lines. They're all on the outside. The sewage lines are on the outside, the pipes are on the outside of the building, the air conditioners are hanging off the side of the building, and this is in 2021. These are buildings that are going up in 2021. You can see it happening here at the corner of Regent Street and Albert Street, at the corner of Regent Street and Oronoque Street. Same thing at the corner of North Road and Albert Street, and the corner of South Road, or the corner of Church Street and Albert Street, the corner of Oronoque Street and North Road. And even if you look at the buildings that are still going up on Regent Street, the new ones that are 7 stories tall, they're still being built in the old ancient style that are not self-contained. So this is what I mean by modern versus old or ancient architecture. So the other feature that makes this a modern building, that is the Pegasus Suites, is that it's taller than the previous buildings that have been going up around Georgetown. 12 stories tall, 57 meters high. The Pegasus Suites is now the tallest building in Guyana. If you compare Old Town to New Town in cities like Dubai, for example, or Singapore, or Kuala Lumpur, you'll find that the main difference between the Old Town and the New Town is the height of the building. So they are now skyscrapers in the New Town section of the city, whereas in the Old Town section of the city, the buildings are much lower. Right? Some of that has to do with the technology developing, the building technology, the construction technology, the technology to build taller and lighter buildings is a fairly modern invention. And so because you can build with modern materials, you can build taller because they're much better models of construction than that models of architecture. You can now build taller buildings. And I'm saying that this is what's going to happen going forward, and that the Pegasus Hotel is simply the first and tallest building so far. The other thing about modern buildings is that they're now computerized. So, for example, if you've been visited one of the hotels, you know, say in New York or London or Toronto, you'll find that the security system is computerized. They can unlock your door, the door to your room, from the front desk using a computer, or you can have a key card that simply gets activated when you receive it, and it gets deactivated when you leave. So you can access building facilities using your key card, or they can simply open the door using a computer. Right? So this is one of the features of a modern building that you're going to see, and that the Pegasus Hotel probably, the Pegasus Suites probably is going to implement, and that most of the buildings in Guyana, and even the ones that are going up now, have not yet or will not implement. Right, so modern buildings are also smart buildings. They're now beginning to use computer technology to manage and to manage the building services and the building utilities. So guys, that is what I mean by modern, and why I think this Pegasus Suites and Corporate Center is the first in the next generation of buildings being constructed. Alright, so I believe that some of the buildings that are going up now are actually going to be torn down. They're temporary, these huge concrete structures that are going up now. In 10 or 15 years, they're going to be torn down because much better building design will take over the city, and a new town will spring up where the old town exists, or in another part of the city, perhaps along the coast, like I said in the last video, where the Pegasus Hotel is going on. So that's my idea, guys. Tell me what you think in the comments below. Tell me if you understand the difference between modern and old architecture, and whether you think this is in fact the direction in which the city of Georgetown will head. Want to see more content like this? Click like and subscribe. Remember, you can share this video with friends and families around the world. Let people know what's happening here in Guyana. Later!